There are many potential hazards associated with the use of ladders. The SES is committed to the zero harm policy, employing safe practices and training for all workers and volunteers. While working at heights is covered in other training, this DVD highlights safe work practices in the use of ladders. Falls even at ground level can result in fractured limbs, other serious injuries and even fatality. Falls from heights can increase the likelihood of serious injuries. Safe Work Australia figures state, on average over 10 years, 2,000 workers per year have been seriously injured in ladder accidents. Ladders can fall, break, come into contact with power sources, break through supporting structures, or be knocked over. Safe work practices include inspecting and maintaining ladders and selecting the right ladder for the situation. Portable ladders come in a variety of styles, lengths and materials. The most common ladders used in the SES are made from fiberglass. It is critical to select a fiberglass ladder if working near any electrical hazards, as fiberglass doesn't conduct electricity. Stay more than 3 metres away from any power source with any ladder and always look up for electrical wires or power sources. Extreme care and extra distance should be used if you're working in wet conditions near any electrical source. The load rating of ladders are specified on a label on the side. SES ladders should have a load rating of at least 120 kilograms and be designed for industrial use. They should not be used to support a weight greater than specified or for any purpose other than for which they were designed. Having selected the appropriate ladder for the job, always check the general condition of the ladder before climbing. Do not use ladders that show signs of twisting or distortion, corrosion, missing or loose components, excessive wear or damage. Any ladder that is damaged should not be used. If you find any damage, appropriately tag it and have it repaired or disposed of. Ensure the rungs or steps are clean and not slippery. Check that the ladder is structurally sound. Check for any movement or instability in the rungs to the stiles. The bottom of the ladder should have well-maintained, non-slip feet. Do not use the ladder if the feet are damaged or badly worn. Step ladders are more often used indoors or where there is limited support or room for an extension ladder. Place the ladder on a firm, level footing and fully open the legs. The ladder spreaders must then be locked. Select a step ladder that will allow you to work comfortably without standing above the third top step. The braces on a one-sided ladder should never be used as steps. Move or turn the ladder around if you need to reposition yourself to work safely. A two-sided ladder can be used on either side, but only one person should be on a ladder at any one time. All the checks applied to the step ladder must be applied to extension ladders and straight ladders, with the addition of checking the hauling rope, guides and the latching device where applicable. Remember to select the appropriate ladder when working near any power source and to not use any ladder closer than 3 metres from any power source. The appropriate ladder will be one that is tall enough when in position to extend at least 1 metre past the step-off point or allow you to stand at least 1 metre from the top of the ladder when you're working. The safe angle for a ladder can be determined by using the principle of 4 to 1, or 4 up, 1 out. Effectively, this places the feet at a distance of 1/4 of the height of where the ladder touches the support structure. You need to ensure the ladder is vertically plumb. Small ladders can be carried by one SES member. After lifting, reposition your grip to allow the ladder to tilt with the bottom of the ladder just clearing the ground. Use one hand to carry and the other hand to control the balance and direction. Larger or heavier ladders should be carried by 2 members using team lifting techniques. Lift on command.
Ready to lift? Ready. Lift.
Carry in the same hand, face the same direction, and walk at the same pace. When lifting ladders into place, first make sure there are no overhead obstructions, power lines or power sources. Check that the surface is firm and level so that neither of the feet can sink or move. If possible, SES ladders should be secured with a ladlock. The SES have a ducot for the ladlock that explains how to attach it to the ladder and the gutter correctly. These should be attached to the ladder before erecting it. Short and light ladders can be placed directly in position on a firm surface. If the short ladder is slightly heavier or more bulky, place the ladder against the base of the wall or other stationary object and underrun the ladder by walking in while pushing forward and upwards on alternate rungs. Longer and heavier ladders may require 2 or 3 SES members to erect. Place the ladder on the ground, ideally where space permits, at right angles to the wall or support. The bottom of the ladder should be placed according to the 4-to-1 rule, being set apart from the wall at a distance approximately 1/4 of the height of the estimated point of contact. While the first person steadies the ladder with their feet, the second person firmly holds the stiles near the end caps and lifts this end of the ladder above their head while they slowly walk forward. As the person raising the ladder reaches the centre point, the ladder must be firmly held down at its feet as it may tip over or lift at this point. Both lifters should steady the ladder as it approaches its vertical position and gently lower it into its position. While one is still holding the ladder steady, recheck that it's on a firm and level surface and in a 4-to-1 position. An extension ladder must be raised in the same manner as we've just described, ensuring that it begins the raise in its closed position. Once in the near vertical position, the person behind the ladder steadies the ladder with their hands in a position where they're not able to get caught. The person at the front places their feet at the bottom and uses the hauling line to raise the ladder to the required height, making sure there are no obstructions. If the ladder is heavy or conditions are windy or rainy, use 3 members, 1 at the foot and 1 on each side to assist. Do not raise an extension ladder more than the minimum of a 3-rung overlap for small ladders and up to 5-rung overlap for large ladders. If ladders are being used to access a roof or landing point, they should be erected so that the head of the ladder extends beyond the roof or other landing point by at least 1 metre. For added stability, place 1 rung equal to or slightly above the gutter edge if a ladlock is unable to be used to secure the ladder. Once the ladder is raised to a safe height, secure the latching device, then gently lower it into position. Care should be taken when erecting ladders. Get assistance from other SES members if required. 1. The ladder should then be secured at the top contact point at the side rungs. Ladlock secured to the guttering of the property. 2. Once the ladder is correctly positioned, one person must hold the base of the ladder firmly while the other climbs. Someone must monitor the ladder at all times. You may need to access a roof from the narrow side of a house which offers restricted space at right angles to the wall for raising the ladder. Place the ladder on the ground where space permits, parallel to the guttering but clear from under the eaves. Check for overhead obstructions and power lines or power sources. Check the surface is firm and stable before raising the ladder parallel to the gutter. Rotate the ladder until it's facing the gutter by pivoting the ladder on 1 foot at a time. Extend the ladder until it's at least 1 metre above the gutter edge. Walk the ladder, again pivoting 1 foot at a time, towards or away from the house to maintain the 4-to-1 ratio. Lower the ladder against the gutter and secure it in place, using the ladlock or securely foot the ladder. There are a number of basic rules that should be applied whenever positioning a ladder. Ladders are best placed on firm level ground and should not be placed on unstable or slippery surfaces. If you need to, dig in the stiles to create a firm base. Never use blocks or other improvised materials to gain extra height or to act as a levelling foundation. Stay more than 3 metres away from electrical power lines or sources. Only ever rest the top of the ladder against objects that will not move. Never rest the top of the ladder against brittle or weak surfaces like window glazing or plastic gutters. If a ladder has to be placed in front of a doorway, obtain the owner's consent to secure the door if possible. Ensure the member footing the ladder stands guard and prevents the ladder from being knocked over. Before climbing, make sure your shoes are clean and free of oil, grease and mud. Make sure nobody is working underneath the ladder. When ascending or descending, you must use both hands to climb and always maintain 3 points of contact. Tools or materials should not be carried in your hands as you climb, but instead be carried in pouches, tethered or raised to the work area in some other safe way. Regardless of whether you're ascending, descending or standing on the ladder, you must always face the ladder. Never allow more than one person to be on the ladder at a time. Never bring a load up a ladder that may overload it or be awkward to handle. Work within easy arm's reach, keeping your belly button between the stiles. Avoid bouncing and swaying when on a ladder. As you have to always maintain 3 points of contact with the ladder, never use a chainsaw or crowbar while on a ladder, as it may kick back or overbalance you. If both hands are required to perform a task on a ladder, the person must be adequately secured with a safety harness and a height safety system. Ensure you are wearing the appropriate personal protective equipment when working on or around ladders. This includes hard hats if there is a risk of something falling or that you could strike your head, and fully enclosed, well-fitting slip-resistant footwear. If you are going on a roof, ensure that you have a properly secured safety harness. Do not leave raised ladders unattended. After use, return ladders to their storage area at the SES depot. The storage area should be secure, easily accessible and capable of keeping ladders safe from weather and mechanical damage. Ladders should not be stored in areas subject to excessive heat or dampness. Specially designed racks are a good way to store ladders. The ladders can be placed horizontally with sufficient supporting points to prevent sagging. Material should not be placed on top of stored ladders. Ladders do present real safety hazards in the workplace. However, by following the appropriate SES safety procedures, they can be used safely and many accidents and injuries can be avoided. Ensure that you and your colleagues follow these guidelines at all times.